The purpose of this in-service is to explain the basic instruction on how to use the Nebulizer mini compressor machine. Now, once you've determined that the Nebulizer is going to be used, two types of setups. The Nebulizer kit that is standard with all of our nebulizer deliveries, or also, in some cases, they'll require a mask. We'll go through both setups. The first thing you want to do is make sure that the nebulizer is placed on a sturdy, flat surface. The reason being is that there are also vents on the bottom of the machine that cannot be obstructed. So do not have the patient set that on any type of towel or cushioning or anything that could block those air vents, which could cause the compressor to fail. So not only do you want to make sure that it's on a flat, sturdy surface, you want to make sure that there's at least 6 inches of clearance all the way to the machine. Before the unit is plugged in, you want to make sure that it is placed in the off position. Once the unit has been plugged in and it's in the off position, you can start to assemble your basic nebulizer startup kit. In the kit, you will have a piece of corrugated tubing, a medicine cup with green cone, and the green cone is essential to the setup. It's placed into the cup like so. A T-section, a mouthpiece, and 7 feet of oxygen tubing. When assembling the nebulizer startup kit, you first want to add the oxygen tubing, the female end to the male end of the nebulizer compressor. When assembling the nebulizer cup, you must make sure that this green cone is placed on the inside of the medicine container. Otherwise, the medicine will not be delivered to the patient properly and the machine will not be working properly. Once that cone is placed in there and the medicine is placed in the cup, you then secure the top of the medicine cup. The T-section is then placed on top of the medicine cup, and the mouthpiece with the whistle-type indentation on the top side is then placed into the larger end of the T, and the corrugated tubing is then placed on the opposite side. You always want to make sure that this is kept upright at all times, and the way that it is attached to the machine is that this oxygen tubing is then placed on the bottom of the medicine cup. In order to determine that the unit is working properly, you want to place it in the on position. You'll start to get a smoking or a misting, and it'll start to come out of either end of the tubing once the patient uses it. Once you determine that it is in working condition, you want to turn it off immediately so that the patient can use it as needed and that they don't run out of medication during the demonstration process. When it is not in use, the medicine cup is then placed on the side of the unit. In the event that the patient would need a nebulizer mask in place of the mouthpiece, you simply place the aerosol mask directly on top of the nebulizer kit. And it can also be secured to the side of the machine as well. In the event that the nebulizer unit were to fail, if the compressor were to fail, there would be no power going to the unit, the power cord was damaged, power failure, anything like this, and the patient desperately needs the medication, the backup E-tank can be used in replacement of the nebulizer as a temporary solution. The way in which this is done is that the regulator is attached to the tank, as you were shown in the backup oxygen video. The oxygen tubing is removed from the output on the nebulizer machine. It is then attached to the regulator on your backup oxygen tank. You then must dial it up to no less than 3 liters. You probably want to go around between 4, 5, or 6. That should cause the nebulizer medication to be delivered to the patient. Once the medication has been delivered to the patient via the backup oxygen tank, you want to make sure that the oxygen regulator is turned to 0 and there is no more oxygen coming out of the backup tank so that the patient will be able to use the oxygen for emergency use or in the event that they would need to use their nebulizer again before we could come out with a replacement. Please note that once this unit here, this medication cup, if it has become cracked or broken, or if this green cone is missing or broken, this will not work correctly and you'll need to send out a replacement as soon as possible.